With current.
Come on. You want my shit?
Yeah, I'm going to slide in, so just well done. I'll fill in a bit. I'll fill in a bit.
It's almost pizza time. Almost pizza time.
Full bears, please. great.
I see the cards.
Okay, so you'll be the last one coming on. So we'll come face this way, pull Margaret out, face come on, which is heading. So we're going to face this way.
Yeah.
Next around. Someone over here.
Oh, didn't think of this way.
Oh, please, you.
You're right.
Yes, we'll come out, we're going to through clockwise. Not that way, other way.
We're right.
They come from miles around to hear them play a melody. Beneath the stars, my 10 guitars will play a song for you. And if you're with the one you love, this is what you do. Oh, dance, dance, dance to my 10 guitars. And very soon you know just where you are. Through the eyes of love you see 1,000 stars. Oh, when you dance, dance, dance to my 10 guitars. Guitars are made for love, my band of men will always say. So give them all a pretty girl and they will start to play. Beneath the stars, my 10 guitars will play a song for you. And if you're with the one you love, this is what to do. Ah, dance, dance, dance to my 10 guitars. And very soon you know just where you are. Through the eyes of love you see 1,000 stars. Oh, when you
I'd like to welcome you all to this really special day and invite Temura to come and share with us first.
Kia ora rā tānau e te whānau. Ko pai mai te wā, te whakatuku i te mārei kura, i tōna wā whakamutunga i tēnei rā. Me ki rā, me pēnei hoki nā kōrero ki aia. Me haere rā i te mārei kura. Nā te mea kua mutu katoa nā mamaitanga ki unai tōu nei tina nei tēnei wā. Me ki rā moa ki tonu atu. Ahuri atu au ki te reo tuarua. Good morning, family and friends. Today is Marg's Day. Today we farewell her. As today she is laid to rest alongside her husband, Wayne. It is today that we celebrate her life as we farewell her as well. So we send her with all our love, all our blessings, and with all those wonderful memories that we all hold of Marg as she goes to her final resting place. Kia ora tātā.
Thank you for that. I do appreciate it. For those who don't know me, my name is Alex, and I'm leading the service today. I must comment on the beautiful casket that has been chosen by Margaret herself only a few weeks ago. For those who can't see, it's made of wool, which is significant for that family. And I guess we're all thinking it's a bit of a déjà vu moment because we were here very recently for Wayne's funeral. And it's a tough double whammy for the family to have to endure in a short time frame. So our thoughts and our prayers are with the family, and I would like to pray for the family now. I pray a blessing on this whole family, that peace and the comfort of others will carry them through, that they will be able to let go and be able to move forward. I pray that healing would come, joy and time will return, and that their family bonds will be stronger from working together through the grief. And those great qualities that Margaret exhibited all her life will continue to shine through them in the generations to come. Give them peace. Amen. The family will come up shortly and they will paint a picture of various stages of Margaret's life and their interactions with Margaret. There may be some time after that for others from the crowd to come and share. At that point, I just ask to keep your comments maybe to one story. 3 minutes would be good, 10 minutes would not. And so we want to hear from you, but not too much. Following the event, Margaret's casket will be carried outside, and it will be here for around 20 minutes. So those of you who want to catch up with family who need to at that point, you may do so before we go through to the cemetery for the burial. After that, there will be refreshments at the Crescent Rugby Club rooms, and so you're invited to come along. Of course, everyone's got your phone on silent, hey? It can happen. And just remind you, if you haven't signed the book, please do so. The book's at the back. I have one apology that's been given to me. It's Jill Mackenzie. And one tribute, which I would now like to read. It's from Gwenda, Darrell and family. And this is what was said. I first met Margaret and her lovely family in Clinton, where we were neighbours and had some pretty awesome social times together. With the neighbours and the children came along for barbecues, hungies, etc. Margaret made her special bread stuffing, which everyone liked. We did a lot of walking together. She loved her garden, so also went on bus trips where we always had a good time. Lots of laughs. Margaret was a people's person who welcomed everybody into her home. She worked so very hard to keep the household running. Very much loved her family, was proud of her family's achievements in life. They always came first, no matter what. When the family moved from Clinton, we still kept in contact. I will really miss this special lady. And I think we could all say that. At peace now, no more suffering, Gwenda, Darrell and family. I want to briefly share my experience of Margaret, and I would describe her as a real treasure. A lady who smiled a lot. She had an inner vibrancy. And underneath this mild exterior, she could be very strong and determined at times. She had a serious heart condition in her early childhood, and she fought that and lived well beyond the doctor's expectations of her. I believe Margaret projected a quiet calmness and a serenity that made other people comfortable in her company. I looked at a recent photo of her and Wayne, and at a glance, she looked 20 years younger than Wayne, because Margaret was a beautiful-looking woman. She was very hospitable to people who would come to her home. And I can remember going there when she was very unwell, and she insisted on making me the cup of tea. I thought I should be making her the cup of tea, really. But that was Margaret. She made you feel special, and she made you feel valued. Today is truly the end of an era. And so I would now invite various family members to come and share their memories of their mum and other relationships that Margaret had. So, Willie and Hilary?
If you need to be quiet, can you good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming to honour my mother. Look, the most important person I want to honour, and it's the most important person to me, and next is my mother. The most important person I want to honour is my Father God, Papa God, and I want to honour Jesus, because He was the one that gave my mother her life. And I had a wonderful, wonderful relationship with my mother. I was incredibly blessed though. You know, as I got older, I didn't realise how blessed I was. You know, for God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that whosoever believe in Him shall not perish but everlasting life. And my mother has gone on to eternity. I remember when my babies were born, and we'd come over like nearly every single weekend, drop my babies off at mum, and then like I'd go back home, and within an hour I'd be back there because you know, just want to be back with my babies and back with mum. And there's certain things I'm going to miss, like things like, I'd like to love turning up to mum and she'd get up and cook me bacon and eggs for breakfast. And it wasn't so much the food, because I was a mama's boy. And it was just wonderful to be taken care of by mum. Because I knew I was loved by my mother. You know, I remember about 5 years ago crying out to God, because I thought mum was going to go and we thought she was gone, and I'm crying out and just crying out to God, like wailing to God, save my mum. You know, because my baby had just been born and she's 5.5 years old. And then, Lord, you know, because I'm his son, he listened, he heard me. But then about 3 months ago, because of the suffering my mother went through, not just the suffering, but the operations and the blood transfusions, and I knew I couldn't be selfish. And I said to the Lord, I said, Papa, you can take mum home now. And we had a beautiful conversation. It was the most beautiful conversation about 3 months ago, and also when I come to say goodbye to mum. Because I would pretty well ring my mother every single day for years and years and years, and we would talk about anything and everything. We'd talk about President Trump, the rigged stolen election. We'd talk about cryptocurrency, silver, you name it, we talked about it. We'd even talk about Stalinda. And that's the only time that me and my mother would actually swear in front of each other. That's just the way it was. But we had this wonderful, wonderful relationship. But I remember 3 months ago, I said to my mum, I said, Mum, you can go home now. You can go home to Papa. You can go home to Jesus. And I said, I'm going to miss those conversations. I'm going to miss them dearly. And the mum said to me, she spoke to me on the phone, she said, well, I'm going to miss those conversations I had with you. She basically said to me, you don't realise how much I look forward to ringing me every day. We'd ring each other at the most random times of the day, in the middle of the night, just for a chat. And I was so blessed to have a mother like that. But you know, my God, Jesus, my Papa God knew my mother before she was formed in the world, before the creation of this world. He knew the time that she was going to be born. He knew the time that he was going to take her home. Just as God formed Adam out of the dust of the ground, and he returned back to the dust of the ground. This is my mother's shell. It's her shell, and it will return back to the dust of the ground. Just as God breathed into Adam, he breathed life into him. He breathed his spirit into Adam and his soul, and then one day God took him home. Just as he did to my mother. He took her soul, he took her spirit back home to Papa God. And I want to thank you, Lord, for my mama. But Father, I want to thank you, Lord, because I know that when she entered into eternity, no more pain, no more suffering, no more tears, no more sorrow. And I said to go and ever talk to Papa and go see your mansion, because the word of God says, delight yourself in the Lord, and she'll give you the desires of your heart. Now my mother loved home and gardens, and so do I. She loved that kind of stuff, eh? So I said, my Papa God will give you what you want, not just what you're given, he'll give you what you want. And the look on her face that would have been when she entered into eternity and saw the angels of God, billions of them, when she saw Jesus face to face, when she was ushered into the throne of God, and she saw the angels circling around the throne of God, as in the book of Revelations, and these angels going, holy, 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 and they've been doing it since the beginning of creation, and they'll continue to do it since the beginning of creation. And the look on her face, there'd be no words to describe what she saw and what she's seen. Just total ecstatic joy, total ecstatic glory. But I just want to thank you, Mum. And one day, I said to you, I'll see you again, you know, because this life is but a vapor, Mum. I'm 55 years old, and it's gone like that. I've seen people 10 years, they hadn't seen for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, and it's gone like that. It's like I saw them yesterday. So, you know, it's going to be very soon, Mum. I'll see you, and we'll have our conversations. But I just want to thank you, Mum. You were such a wonderful friend to me. I was so blessed to have you as my mother, the most kind-hearted person, the most generous person. You were tough as nails, tough as one of the toughest persons I've ever come across. You know, you would speak life into me. You would speak wisdom into me. And there were times you didn't even know it, Mum. You would prophetically speak into my life, and I knew it was God. But there were times, you know, even though I was Mama's boy, Mum would speak. There was times when she would speak a word to me, and it was done out of love, and I didn't like it. You know, the Bible says God chastises the ones he loves. He chastises his kids. And there were times when Mum would give me a rebuke. I'd go away with my tail between my legs, my gears being grounded, but I knew Mum was true to me. That's the one thing about my mother. She was true to me. When she told me off, it was because she loved me, but it got me back up. So I just want to honour you, Mum, and I want to thank you, Mum, for that beautiful friendship, and also, Mum, because now I've got my babies. Thank you, Mum, and thank you, Lord.
Oh, a bit emotional. Oh, just thanks, Nan. Thanks for the memories, all the, I just think all the love, all the cookies, all the lollies, and I'm just gonna miss you. Yeah. Love you, Nan.
Yeah, same as Dan too, but just super grateful to have such a special woman to look up to. So I think it's going to be pretty impossible to forget you, Dan. Yeah, I'm crying. Of course I am. But yeah, just really grateful for such beautiful Nan, and I think we all are. So yeah, love you, Nan. I'd like to speak on behalf of my mother, Nyla. She couldn't be here today. Not only was she the mother to the Muckles, but a really, really close friend with Nan. Today I respect and honour you, such a woman of grace and beauty, a wonderful mother-in-law and friend. I will miss spending time laughing and talking about everyone and everything. The honesty, vulnerability and ease we had was awesome. Your love won me over and I just adore you. My heart is full and it's not goodbye, but see you later.
Kia ora everyone. On behalf of me, Will, Jason, Diane, Ange, Lee, Kurt and Kelly, we would like to thank everyone locally and from afar for your love and support over the last few weeks. It has meant the world to us. There's just a special acknowledgement I need to make here today. I would like to share, as these people meant the world to my mother and were very much a big part of her life. From the beginning of Mum coming down south in 1977 onwards, and I know Mum would want me to tell these people what they meant to her. These were people that stepped in times when Mum was in Dunedin Hospital for months on end with her heart issues. They would come in and pack me, Jai and Ange up and take us home. We would live with them throughout periods of time, throughout our younger lives. They were very much a big part of our lives in Clinton. So I just want to acknowledge the late Uncle Dave and Rona Haitana, Auntie Sandra Brown, Waiwai, Denny and Viv, Tubby, Uncle Reuben and Auntie Margaret Paina, Knife and Jan, Glenda Smith, and Janice, and there's many more people. You weren't just a dear friend of our mother, you were actually brothers and sisters. She loved you all so unconditionally. You all meant the world to her. And I want to thank you on behalf of our mother, also me, Di and Ange, for stepping in that time and that period in our lives. You showed what love looks like. That's what love looks like, Auntie Sandra. My mother was a woman of grace. She had wicked style. She had such a gentleness. She spoke very quietly, but she had this real gentle spirit. She loved everyone. She loved the community here in Kai, as she did in Clinton. She loved the children around her. And she so loved her grandchildren, whether they were away from this area or whether they were locally. She loved each and every one of her grandchildren and her great-grandchildren. She has another great-grandchild, a granddaughter on her way. So I just want to say thank you to everyone here that has come today to support us, and over the last few weeks, because it's been pretty tough. So I just want to say to you, Mum, you've run the race. Good and faithful servant. Now you can rest. You are made whole. Thank you.
I just want to thank Nan for loving all us grandkids. Not all of us lived in South Island. She was loving and caring, and she took her time to video call us, and just get to know us. She knew all our stories, what we did for jobs, and she knew who our partners were, and she'd take the time just to see how we are, and I'm just grateful for Nana. I always love Nana.
Nan was a wahine toa. She was always at peace with herself. She had a beautiful nature and heart and would do anything for anyone. Will treasure all the moments, even when she stood by me if I was wrong, when she stood by me to help me achieve my dreams. And thank you everyone for coming.
We all know her as a mighty woman. She's a real toiler. Sure, she had a bit of Dutch in her. And I knew she used to stand her ground. She loved everybody unconditionally. She had no favourites. Everybody was equal in her eyes, whether it be the neighbours or the children, you know, all the work colleagues down at the works and stuff, and the shearing sheds. Pretty special, old school. Got a lot of respect for her. And I've got the next best thing, one of her daughters. So thank you, Margaret. Amen.
Sorry, I just got to say one final thing. It's really important that I share this. To really, number one, I will always say this, to honour Papa God. Before my mother died, my three sisters saw two angels behind my mother to prepare my mother before she went home. And I think that's really important because that comforted my heart. You know, this gave me such comfort. And I just want to thank him for sending his two angels to bring Mum home.
First of all, I just say, Mum, I love you. Just want to thank you for being a big part of my family's life, my life, and everyone else's. Thank the whānau for supporting us from far and wide, from Auckland, from Nelson, Tākaka, from Masterton, Wanganui. We thank you all for being here. There's a few thank yous I want to mention. Is Dick Bunting. He was Mum's surgeon. That got Mum to last this day. He was the only surgeon that would touch Mum probably the fifth time. And he'd done the last of her valves. Mum was in and out of Dunedin Hospital for years. Along with that, Clutha Health First, to the nurses, to Shona, to Larissa. You meant the world to Mum. The transfusions, the injections, and that was virtually our Mum's life. But you guys nursed her through to the last day. I just want to say thank you. To the community, to close friends of the family, to the messages of support to each and one of us. Thank you to my family. I just want to thank every one of you here today for Mum. And to my brothers and sisters and their family. Thank you so much. And to my children and to my husband. And then the world of you all. I just want to finish. I love you, Mum.
I'm sort of standing here trying to change my mind about reading this, but Margaret knows what I was like, so here I go. My name's Dean Andrews, and sorry Pete, as I said before, I'm still the number one son-in-law.
You think you are.
Now, being the number one son-in-law come with certain rules when it comes to dealing with Margaret. So here we go. Number one, when Margaret says, I don't want to go in a hearse, can I go in the back of your truck? You don't go, eh? You just smile and say, yes, I can do that. I could never say no to her. So that comes to rule number two. Never lie to Margaret or have her on, because she was such a kind-hearted soul, she would believe everything you said, leading to having to do a quick backtrack and come clean. Rule number three, when Margaret says, do you want to feed? Be prepared to eat, because she knew how to eat. For such a small lady, she could pack it in. She loved a good meal. Rule number four, when it comes to the grandkids, she was the nanny. No ifs or buts, she was the nanny. Even though my temperature gauge used to go up with my kids, when they would just sit there and they'd say, Nan will get it, Nan will do it. And Margaret would be sitting there, would giggle and get up and go and do it right in front of me. I can still see Wayne just looking at me and rolling his eyes. Rule number five, never count Margaret out. I've never met someone as mentally as tough as her. With all her illnesses and setbacks, she just kept getting back up and punching on through, carrying on. Rule number six, you won't change Margaret's mind. Stubborn. For her to say, I'm going to her husband's funeral with her issues, is it stubborn, or is that loyal and committed to the end? I think the later. The last rule, Margaret never complained. Only at the end, she was saying she's in pain. So when Margaret was in pain, she was really hurting. And that was tough for us as a family to watch her struggle. So me watching this immaculately dressed, quietly spoken, prim and proper lady, and I mean a real lady, struggle over years, it's sort of easy for me to say now, you can rest, Nan, and be with Coral. Thank you.
Ahi ahi Māori e koutou. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Georgia, and I'm one of Margaret's mokopunas. My Nan was a very gentle, kind and beautiful lady. She spoke words of wisdom and gave the best advice. My Nan had a heartwarming smile that I could never forget. I grew up with Nan close to home. When I was small, my dad would drop me off at her house very early in the morning, and she would always have breakfast ready for me. I grew up mostly at Nan and Koro's house, and we would have the best of times. I would always help my Nan bake banana muffins, and they were my favourite. My Nan was my biggest supporter. She always watched my kabaraka performances and wished for me that I will perform at Te Matatini one day. My Nan is a mana wahine. She would challenge us with battles and she put up a fight. She is the most strongest woman I know. My Nan was my guardian in life. She protected me from bad and made sure to always give me a reason to stay positive. I'm very grateful to have a Nan like her and to have known such a loving lady. She told me that when she passed, I could look up to the sky at night and she'd be the brightest star up there, and talk to her about anything I wanted. I will forever cherish the times me and her shared and hold the memories close to my heart. Ka nui taku aroha ki a koe e kuia. You'll forever be in my heart. Mui mui rā.
18. No, Nan's passed. She's gone. Wife, Nan, cousins, family, grandsons, and uncles, much to. Just want to say, I want to thank you to the Kaitangata Community Centre, St. John's, Kuhau First, Dean Hospital, for everything, for all they did to her, for everything, for her. Thank you.
Hi guys, I'm just going to speak on behalf of Mahana, Makaiti and myself. I just want to say thank you, Nan. She treated me as one of her own grandchildren. You'll be dearly missed, Nan, and we're both incredibly grateful that you got to meet your great-grandson, Makaiti, and he'll always know what a wonderful lady you were. Thank you.
Well, as my brothers and sisters have just said, you know, thank you very much to every one of you. To Mum, you're just one tough, strong cookie, and I'll never forget you. You'll always be in my heart, in my girl's heart.
Another one. Check. Hello to everyone. For those that don't know me, I'm Kurt, Mum's favourite son. And Mum's sparring partner. Me and Mum had a love-hate relationship. She would push one of my buttons and I would push all of hers. She would give me the remedy look and I knew that was my time to go. But it would all be forgotten about the next day sometimes. Mum was a hard worker, one of the strongest women I knew. I started calling Mum a cat because I felt like she had 9 lives and loved to prove all the doctors wrong, which she did, and she would laugh about it. A story I've told the family, but I'll tell the rest of you. I got in trouble at school one day and I needed to give my mate some rules. So I snuck out the window, went down there, gave the rules to him, and halfway between there and home there was a party. I got to the party and got dragged into it. Short end of the story, I got pissed up. Woke up at 3 o'clock, thought, oh shit, I better get home before I get told off. So I got to the front window and normally I could force it open. It wouldn't open, so I was out the back yelling out from the window saying, Lee, open up the door. Lee, open the door. He wouldn't answer me, so I looked in the window like this. And I could see this person and I thought, nah, that's not Mum. So I looked back again, no doubt it was Mum. So I thought I'd be clever and tried to sneak away. Yeah, I got 2 footsteps in and the window opened and it was get your fucking ass inside now. I'll just get into this. To my mum and dad, I will love you always. But I know yous are together now, and Dad's watching the Highlanders that are up by 20 against the Crusaders. And Mum's cooking in the kitchen, which she loved to do. Love you, Mum, from Kelly, me, and Lee. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ginger. I'm Margaret's sister. I want to thank everybody for coming to pay their last respect to my half sister. I was with Margaret when she died in the hospital, Balclooper, with Diane, my niece. I want to thank all my nieces over there. Willie, my nephew, Hilary, Diane and Angie. I had a good support from all of them. My sister actually got me to move down here to Kaitangata. I haven't been here that long. I haven't been back in Balclooper for 38 years. I still live down here. I moved back to Marsden, where Margaret and I and our family's from. She promised me, I had to promise her, I moved down here. She was getting sick a lot. I come down here last year, before Christmas. And yes, I promised that I'll come and move down here. And then I did move down here. Been down here for about 4 months. In Kaitangata, I live in Kaitangata, just round the corner from here. And she started to get sick a lot, and I said to her, you better bloody look after, behave yourself. You better have plans to go anywhere else. I said, what do you mean by that? Don't you go die on me. Because I'm not his sister you got here. I've got no brothers and sisters here. If you die on me. I had no brothers and sisters down here. All my family's from the North Island. And what she did, she lied to me. She died on me. I kept her promises. She didn't keep them up. But I want to thank every one of you coming here today, pay respect to my sister. I was speaking on behalf of my sister Sarah down here. Kirk, Tans, and Lisha and Lee. Kirk and Lee's my nephews. Kirk, thank you for picking my family up from Dunedin Airport since our sister died. And I thank you very much for picking brothers and our sisters up. And I want to thank the Clinton people, Sandra Brown, Sandra Waiwai, Margaret and Reuben, Bonji, Ronald, and Pingers and his wife. I want to thank you very much from the Clinton people. And my sister did love you, like Diane said. You fellas were her family, the Clinton lot. My sister's always told me Clinton will always be her home. And I thank for our brother Casey, bringing our brother down on the plane. He's in the wheelchair over here by Diane. He was supposed to come down last year too. And when this is the first move found out that Mark was on her way up here, and my brother took it hard, then he had a stroke. And he's still on in Marston Hospital. He's in the front with us at the moment in the wheelchair. And his daughter Casey brought him down by plane. Kirk went to go and pick him up. And I thank you very much, Kirk Tuns. Thank you for being there for me. And Diane, Angie, Hillary, William, all my nephews and nieces. Thank you very much for being here. And I've got to thank Rose, Margaret's neighbour next door, Margaret. You know, she's brought a lot of food to Margaret's place. I want to thank everybody from Kai, Balclooper, Sterling. He's been a great family friend to my sister. And this is from the Rimley family back home. And I want to thank the Pennier family, my cousin, Slidey, Howie and Winder. They're my father's people from back home. Thank you for coming down here. And I've got to thank another person, Karina. This is my husband's niece. I married a Wybrow from Balclooper. His name is Vade Wybrow. Took me 38 years to change him. Then sometimes I wonder what I got into sometimes. It was hard road, but I got there with him. But Trina, Wade's niece, and her husband Martin, thank you for bringing all the food to my house to support my family. Hey, Trina, I do thank you. And thank you because at the time, my brother Rue was still coming back from my student when I was at the hospital when my sister died of dying. But she was a great support to Trina. She was here for me because I had no brothers and sisters here then. Now I've got all my brothers and sisters here with me now. We come from a family from 19 of us. 19 brothers and sisters. Now we only got 9 left. We had 10. Now we've got 9 left. Now Margaret's gone. I love you, sister. I don't want to come say goodbye to you. And Margaret has got a heart of gold, like you once said. We're close to all our brothers and sisters. I love you. And I miss you. And thank you everybody for coming. Thank you.
Kia ora, everyone. Well, everyone is expecting an end to the story, and we will get to that. But firstly, I would like to take the time to pay tribute to one of the kindest ladies I've ever met, and just to acknowledge the beautiful love story between Uncle Wayne and Auntie Margaret. The power of love is so strong that it transcends even after death. I met Auntie Margaret a long time ago when Uncle Wayne wanted to introduce his new wahine to the family. And of course, Uncle having so many evil sisters, Auntie was very much under the spotlight of scrutiny. But once my mother and her sisters understood that their little brother was going to be well looked after, they got back to being the angelic sisters that we love. Auntie Margaret was well known for her loving nature and kind approach to people. Her love for the community, this community ran deep. And together with Uncle Wayne, they made their mark on Kaitangata through all their acts of kindness and compassion for its people. You will hear the term wahine tō being thrown around. And the literal translation of this term is warrior woman. And I don't think there is a better term to describe our Auntie Margaret. She was a fighter all the way to the end. And the heartbreak she felt losing Uncle in the end was just too much for her to handle. This is the true testament of their love for one another. Numerous times throughout her life, her health turned on her. But Auntie just kept on fighting. Recently, before she passed, Auntie had to be rushed to Dunedin Hospital from Balclutha, and I had the pleasure of riding in the back of the ambulance with her. We ate fried chicken, and I talked shit about the drivers and their bad driving. But for Auntie, having someone with her in that tough time was important to her. And I'll cherish that memory forever. We will always have memories of her, and that is how she will live on through all of us. There's one thing that has been constant throughout the days that I have been here for this tangi, and that is love. A brother's love, a sister's love, a love for mum, and a love for nanny. The more love that we have for Auntie makes it so much harder to say goodbye. Which brings me on to the love of a husband who has been lonely without her in 22 Auburn Street in the sky. If you were here or watching Uncle Wayne's tangi, you would have heard me tell a story about what I imagine heaven would be like for him. While we left Uncle in the shed, sorting through all his new treasure he had found at numerous garage sales that didn't take any money. Uncle remembered that he'd put the jug on, and it had just boiled. He went inside, and he noticed that Auntie's photo had gone from the table, and in its place was a single red rose. As he picked up the rose, he felt an overwhelming feeling of love, and he knew that she wasn't far away. He raced up to the room and cleaned himself up for the arrival of his beautiful wife. When Auntie made her way to heaven, firstly she found herself in an airport in the departure lounge. She found this odd as she didn't expect heaven to look like this, like an airport. And what puzzled her even more is the ticket in her hand said that her arrival would be in Kaitangata. And we all know little Kai doesn't have an airport. She walked up to the gate to board the plane, and to the left of the gate was a huge glass wall. And on the other side of it was all her beautiful whānau waving to her goodbye. She asked the man taking her ticket why her family was here. And the man replied to her that this farewell is just for you, and that it is time for you to leave. Auntie waved goodbye and blew kisses to all of her mokos. And as he scanned her ticket, the man said, "He's waiting for you." When she walked through the gate, she saw a big flash of light, and suddenly everything went dark. When she opened her eyes, she was in her bed at home. She hopped out of bed, put her feet in her slippers, and put her dressing gown on, and walked out to the lounge to find Uncle standing there in a nice polo shirt and his good jeans, holding the rose from the table. She burst into tears and cuddled him. Uncle pulled her head close to his chest and said, "I love you, dear." And she replied, "I love you too." They embraced one another, and Auntie felt the same overwhelming love that Uncle felt when he found the rose, and she knew that this was the heaven for her. Auntie Margaret will always be remembered by everyone that encountered her. She had that effect on people, and her memory will continue to live on through her whānau, her friends, and this community. So again, I would like to thank the people of Kaitangata and Balclutha for looking after Auntie and Uncle in their final time on this earth. The love that has been expressed by everyone in the last 4 days will be felt by her and Uncle for all eternity. Moi mai rā, Auntie, we love you.
Hi, I'm Margaret Rose Allan. Favourite one? Good. I'm going to say I love you, Margaret. Love you, Margaret. I'll see you. You will see me. Okay? All right.
There is a constant theme of the love that Margaret radiated. And I guess we all felt that. At this point, are there other people who would like to come and share what Margaret meant to them? There certainly will be those stories that we will have personally later on when we have time to have those refreshments. I do love the picture of Margaret in the garden. She looks like she's in a happy place there. And I think she's in a happy place now, according to the story that we've heard, which was pretty special. We're about to look at the photos. Is there anything else that we need to have before that? Yep. Yeah, sure.
Sorry, I need to do this. Our brother Jason and our nephews in Australia couldn't make it. So Jay, Hunter, Josh, and Jace, we love you, and our hearts are with you guys over there in Queensland.
Thank you, Hilary. It's great to acknowledge that other people are watching and that can't be here, and we do feel for them. So we're about to watch the photos.
Yeah.
All good?
Yeah.
Kia ora, Margaret. Much here from 660. Hope you're doing all right. Wish you were here.
Ko mana tōku maunga, ko aroha te moana, ko whānau tōku waka, ko au e tu atu nei. Mana is my mountain, and Aroha is my sea. keep the home fires burning so you can see clear. Kia mahara mai rā, no konei koe, ko mana tōku maunga, ko aroha te moana, whānau tōku waka, ko au e tu atu nei. Mana
I just wonder who's going to inherit that pink hoodie. She had some fun, didn't she? Look at those photos. And often with the little people around her, she enjoyed her family. Like the glue that held everyone together. So very soon we'll finish, and she gets to ride in Dean's vehicle. She didn't like the idea of riding in a black hearse. It wasn't her style. She had her style, and Dean's vehicle was the one. I'd invite you now to please stand as we give a benediction. We give thanks for the life of Margaret, that she defied those odds and lived a long and a fruitful life. We honour the passionate loyalty she had to her whānau and friends. And I guess we were all built up by that love that she gave to us. She became a role model and an example to many. A precious gift that today we release into her heavenly reward. We have all been touched from having known Margaret. Now it's our turn to live out our lives in a way that reflects and honours her memory. Thank you. At this point, can the grandchildren please go outside to form a guard of honour to greet Margaret as she exits. All those grandchildren, can you please do that now?
I don't know how the hell they got it all like fucking out off that investment. They don't drop it to part of our money. Scoot, scoot.
Hey, nah.
We good here?
Yeah, no, we'll put it down, then we take it off.
Papa?
Thread the strops up to maybe the bumps.
I want to look here.
I don't want.
I want to look.
Come back to this. Oh, sorry.
Just hold it up.
I have a few words to say here, then I'll invite pallbearers to come back and They will lower the casket. After that, family will come and place vegetation, fern and rosemary on the top. After we finish with that, the team will come and will put the cover over the top before we put the soil back into the grave. This is a time of the physical separation, a time when Margaret's earthly body is laid to rest. A body that has fought magnificently for a long period of time, but now that battle for her is over. Margaret is at last free from the confines of this life, from the cares of this world. Margaret Rose Allan, we release you from among us in this life. Grateful we have had you for so long, celebrating that you are now at peace. We commit this, your earthly body, to your resting place here in Kaitangata, the place you called home. Earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, in the sure and certain hope of the resurrection to eternal life through Jesus Christ, your Lord. May we go forth from this place in peace. Be strong and of good courage. Hold fast to that which is good, and carrying the memories of Margaret in our hearts for all time. Amen.
You want to play before we lower?
All good. You got this?
Oh man, I love you. Yes, I do. Please wait for me, man. I'll be home very soon. I never knew just how much you meant to me till now. You're so many miles away across the sea. Only God knows where or when we'll meet again. To hold you in my arms once more, to hear your voice and to see your smile. God, please do keep so many miles away across the sea. Only God knows where or when we'll meet again to hold you in my arms once more, to hear your voice and to see your smile. God, please do keep my
I'd invite you to now come forward and place your offering.
Hello.
Too close, eh? See you, Mum.
See you again soon.
Put that in.
Wow.
He's a mummy.
This one will come in up and under and over. I tried it out. So when you think you can take the weight, there and there. Good.
Yeah. So I think the boys at the back will come up and make it flush. Not jumping on it. Someone can measure the angles.
Settle. There you go.
Try and pull the swords up first. Yep, thank Try and fill up the sides. Yeah, fill up the sides. Fill up the sides. That's the one, Gingy. Nice.
Put some more on there.
That's the one, right? Pass me some. No, just pass me one so I can. I'll give it back. I know. Surprised you didn't kick it, cuz.
Tears on my pillow. I remember all the times I remember now my heart, my very soul cries out for.
Go get it.
But baby, all your love is dying. Buried in my heart, and you on my mind.
Eat go hot.
I'll never forget the day you walked away. Walked out of my life. I'm very but baby, every time burning in my heart, and you on my mind.
Hey, bro. What, you underneath, Abby? Cheer, bro. Yep. That's thinking. You're making the hard work for me. Need a beer now? I want that beer.
How did you get it then? How did you get it then?
Yeah.
Come on, let's go play. Let's go. Here, let's go play. I'm gonna watch. Wait, pass this.
Vocal.
Come on.
Nah.
Hold the hand. Hold the hand. Hold the hand. Let's go play. Let's go play superheroes. Let's be the bad guys.
Right, keep going. Sure. Yeah. No, you're all right, bro. Keep going. Huh?
My soul thirsts for something more than this world could ever provide. My heart, it aches for something more, for the fountain that never runs dry. Your love is sweeter than wine.
Use those gum moves, Steve.
Your love is better than life. I need you like the air I breathe. Your love has got a hold on me. I need you more than anything. I need you, I need you, I need you like the ground needs rain. There's nothing that could take your place. I need you more than anything. I need you, I need you.
I'll stand on the middle.
My weakness, you will be my strength. In the darkness, you will be my light. Through the chaos, you will make a way. Should I wander, you'll find me every time. Oh, your love is sweeter than wine. Your love is better than life. I need you like the air I There's nothing that can take your place. I need you more than anything. Oh, I need you. Oh, I need you like the air I breathe. Your love has got a hold on me. I need you more than anything. I need you. I need you. I need you like the ground needs rain. There's nothing that can take your place.
If you want to move your dad's mic up there too. Yeah.
Oh, fine. I'll give you one more cake.
Tomorrow we'll
No,
replace that one with just her name on there, rather than
I just barely get in here.
Woo!
Cheers. Cheers. You want to do one more down?